Hello, this is Philip Davidov, and today we'll speak about egg tempera. We take the best eggs available, the brown eggs, and we try to create a large hole on the edge of the eggshell to be able to let the egg white get out, and in order for the egg yolk to get out without being scratched, we usually use our hands just to keep the egg yolk. Then we use egg white for something else, for some cooking purposes, and we clean up the eggshell. We keep the eggshell as a measuring tool, and we also clean up the egg yolk simply because we don't need any egg white in our egg emulsion. When the egg yolk is cleaned up, we take a container for it, and scratching the surface, we simply let it out. We let it out holding the film with a thumb. Freshest eggs have strongest film, and they are easy to work with. So that's pure egg yolk. We throw away the film and into this mixture we add the amount of water equal to slightly less than a half, well, maybe 1/3, maybe 2/5 of the amount of the eggshell. That's it. The egg emulsion is prepared. In order to use it for several days, we add tiny bit of vinegar to it, just to make sure it has some preservative. Then we mix it up, we stir, and here it is. The egg emulsion is ready. We can mix it with pigments and use it for at least 1 or even 2 or 3 weeks. Usually in a normal room temperature it can survive. In order to start using the egg emulsion, we need to start adding it to paint, and we usually buy paint in as dry pigment powder, and we add emulsion by dropper. Then, in case if the pigment has some bigger particles, we usually grind them with a pestle to get an even consistency for the whole mixture. When the paint is ready, we should check up the consistency and the color somewhere on a piece of paper or on a secondary detail before painting it everywhere. This looks very thick and strong. No matter how thick or thin is going to be your mixture, it's always very important to control your brush rather than mixture. How much paint you have on your brush, that's what matters. So I've mixed a certain amount of paint. It's not really thin, it's not very thick, It's just some mixture, some typical proportion of egg tempera. But before I start working, the main thing I have to do, I have to dry up my brush to get it to this point when there's almost no paint on the brush. And with this transparency you can achieve smooth transitions and evenness in paint application. So drying up your brush over the edge of a cup, maybe 10, maybe 11, sometimes 17 or 24 times, will give you possibility to achieve evenness in paint application. One more thing, it's important to remember pigment particles are heavy and they have a tendency to drop down to the bottom. In case if you like your particles to create an even color, to keep your color equal everywhere, all over the surface, you'll have to mix up your paint every time you're taking it with your brush. Otherwise, you may only take the lightest or darkest part of the mixture. So evenness is achieved and transparency is achieved through the driest brush possible. Dry brush can help you to control the amount of paint you apply on the surface. And one more thing we should remember, the dry brush gives a possibility for us to work faster. Like this part I've just covered up with the color, but even after a few seconds we can paint on top and apply one more layer, which will make our color deeper, stronger and darker in this case. So we'll have a double coverage, and very short time is needed for our paint to dry up and for us to be able to apply one more layer on top. Of course we shouldn't hurry up, because otherwise, if we try to be too quick in this and apply too many layers, we'll have classical problems. First, we may occasionally create holes in previous layers. So this area is a place where the egg tempera has just melted the previous layer. And the second one, if we apply too many layers one on top of another without letting each of them dry, they may crack, and that's most difficult because sometimes the cracks will appear after some hours since we have finished the piece. This was Filip Davidov. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Drop us a note, leave a comment if you have any considerations. Bye bye.